Unpacking the solid wisdom, lessons from lifelong learners. Some of the deepest lessons in life are not taught in classrooms, preached from podiums, or broadcast across screens. They are learned quietly. They come from watching, listening, waiting, and living long enough to understand that not every truth needs noise to be real. This is the solid wisdom carried by lifelong learners, men and women who never stop learning, not because they are chasing achievement, because life itself keeps teaching. The image of the elder sitting with a manuscript captures this truth well. His posture is not hurried, his expression is not performative. It is the look of someone who has learned that wisdom is gathered slowly, like water drawn from a deep well. In a world obsessed with speed and visibility, silent wisdom often gets unnoticed, yet it is the kind of wisdom that lasts. Silent wisdom is not about withholding knowledge or refusing to speak. It's about discernment, knowing when to speak and when to listen. Lifelong learners understand that every season of life has lessons, and many of these lessons arrive quietly. Scripture reminds us of this steady posture towards learning. The heart of him that has understanding seeks knowledge, but the mouth of fools feedeth on foolishness. Proverbs 15, chapter 14, verse. Lifelong learners seek understanding, even when no one is watching. They read when others scroll. They reflect when others react. They ask questions without needing applause. Over time, this posture shapes not just what they know, but who they become. There is a mistaken belief that learning belongs to the young. Schools reinforce it. Job titles reinforce it. Even social media reinforces it. But wisdom does not retire. Lifelong learners know that every decade brings a new syllabus: loss, joy, failure, forgiveness, patience, endurance. The Apostle Paul wrote, "When I was a child, I spake as a child. I understood as a child. I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things." 1 Corinthians 13, chapter 11, verse. This verse is not about age alone, it is about maturity. Silent wisdom grows when we are willing to unlearn pride and relearn humility. Lifelong learners do not cling to being right, they cling to being teachable. One of the strongest traits of lifelong learners is their ability to listen, not to reply, not to dominate, but to understand. Listening sharpens discernment and deepens empathy. It allows truth to surface without force. James wrote it plainly. Wherefore, my beloved brethren, let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, slow to wrath. James, first chapter 19, verse. Silent wisdom is formed in that slowness. It is cultivated when we allow space between stimulus and response. Over a lifetime, that discipline creates steadiness, especially in difficult conversations, strained relationships, and moments of disagreement. Lifelong learners respect experience, but they do not worship it. They know experience can harden a person or refine them. The difference is humility. Silent wisdom refuses bitterness and chooses understanding instead. The elder in the image is not reading to prove intelligence. He's reading to remember, to reflect, to connect the present with the past. That is what lifelong learners do. They integrate experience rather than weaponize it. Scripture offers this promise: wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding. Proverbs 4, chapter 7th verse. Understanding is what transforms knowledge into wisdom. It is what keeps a learner gentle instead of rigid. Today's world rewards volume. The loudest voice often gets the most attention, not the wisest one. Lifelong learners learn to resist that pull. They value clarity over clout and truth over trends. Silent wisdom becomes a stabilizing force in families, communities, and leadership. It does not chase relevance, it embodies it. In times of confusion, people naturally gravitate towards those who speak calmly, thoughtful, and with depth. That is the quiet authority earned through years of learning. For many lifelong learners, faith is not a phase, it is a lifelong classroom. Scripture is not revisited, not outgrown. Prayer deepens rather than diminishes. Questions evolve, but trust matures. Hebrew reminds us, but strong meat belongeth to them that are of full age, even those who by reason of use have their senses exercised to discern both good and evil. Proverbs 5th chapter 14 verse. Discernment comes from use, from practice, from walking through life with faith engaged. Silent wisdom is not passive, it is trained. As technology accelerates and information multiplies, wisdom becomes more valuable, not less. Lifelong learners anchor progress with perspective. They remind us that growth without growing leads to confusion, and knowledge without character leads to harm. That is why silent wisdom must be shared, not loudly, but faithfully, through mentorship, through example, through conversation that lead people steadier than they found them. If this reflection resonated with you, pause and consider who has quietly taught you the most. What lessons are you still learning? Lifelong wisdom grows when it is acknowledged and passed on. Leave a thoughtful comment. Share this with someone who values depth over noise and stay connected with Just Straight Talk community presented by Sample Us, where truth is spoken with clarity, humility, and heart. Remember, truth don't change, just straight talk.